discrepancy right now in the AFC versus NFC. For the most of the last decade, the lion's share of Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks have been in the AFC. Rodgers' path, it has not been the hardest one, and San Francisco beat him with Cap and then with Alex Smith.
What about
and then with Jimmy G?
Jimmy G beat him.
Yeah, that. Exactly. And so, but go ahead. You were trying to ask.
No, the question I have, I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
He would be the third quarterback to win with multiple teams. Brady, obviously. And Peyton. What would happen to his legacy if he got there and didn't win, like Kurt Warner with the Cardinals? Do you
I think it's helpful.
Boost him up?
It's helpful.
I think it's absolutely. I think the only thing that, as far as, I think there's only two things that could ding Rodgers with this Jets tenure. One is if it's an unmitigated disaster.
That would hurt.
If it just
Really?
goes.
Do you think?
I don't think it
would
moves
hurt him.
backwards, but I just think
No, it would just be like he's washed.
Yeah,
he's 40 years old.
40 years
he's
old. And he's washed.
That would be bad.
But I think worse, maybe, honestly, than it being a disaster is if it goes great. Better than I thought, even better maybe than you think. They look awesome. And then in the conference title game, he falls flat. Because Brew's been hitting on this for a couple years, that Rodgers' numbers in every scenario of his career except for conference championship weekend look like one thing, and then conference championship and his one victory came in a game where Cutler got hurt and Caleb Haney had to come in. That's the one where it'd be like, oh boy.
No, that would hurt. That's a great point. Like, they're looking great, they're rolling, they get to the AFC title game, and he
Chiefs dust them.
Yeah,
the Arrowhead would be better if he didn't make
or
the playoffs.
the Ravens.
No,
if we went 10-7 and somehow we're out of the.
You know what? I kind of think that would be better.
I don't think it would be better. What I think is that for if you were trying to craft an anti-Aaron Rodgers, if it was high school debate, and it's like you drew the anti-Aaron Rodgers argument.
Or professional. Sports television.
No, I understand, but if you were doing that and you were like, what would be the perfect crescendo to my see the guy doesn't have it argument, it would be more that than he goes to the Jets and they're just mediocre. It would be more they look awesome, everything's going great.
I think he'd get more criticism in your scenario.
Yes, I think he would get more criticism.
Jets host the Bills week 1. High expectations, obviously. Currently have the 7th best odds to win the Super Bowl. Here's Rodgers on his role with the Jets.
The pieces are in place, and Robert has done an incredible job of putting a staff together that encourages these guys, that push these guys, that holds them accountable. And I'm just a cog in that wheel, and I know my role, and it's an important one. But I'm excited to get the live ones going here. This is fun. I mean, football's back. It's August, it's training camp, but it's an exciting time of the year.
I'm telling you, they're winning on the vibes contest.
Yeah, they are.
Realistic Super Bowl contenders?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because, look, right now, we know everything's in pencil right now.
Yeah.
Right? But I've got them as the wild card in the AFC. And once you get into the tournament, tournament, especially with a quarterback like Rodgers.
Was that good?
You got a shot.
What?
You got a shot. Now, we just talked about his problems in conference championship games.
Yeah.
And I've like Nick said, I beat that drum. Here's the main thing. In 5 conference championship games, which he's 1-4 in, he's got 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
For a guy who never throws.
Right. That's the thing. It's not like, oh, he usually throws a lot. No, that makes you feel like is he melting down a little bit? Is the stage too big for him or something like that? So I think that I hear you on that, but I think their ceiling this year is the conference championship game. And because of his history, I'm not saying he's going to fold like a chair if they get there. But I don't think he'll win it. So I think their ceiling, I'll say they're a contender.
Yep.
If you get to the conference championship.
Conference championship.
But I think that's where that's the furthest they would go.
I just don't think they're going to be great at anything on offense. I just don't. And I want to make the Garrett Wilson opinion very clear here. And I know we're going to talk more about Garrett in a moment. It's less about Garrett Wilson and it's more about what it takes to be a great wide receiver if we are in the greatest era ever for wide receivers. The NFL's top 100 is being unveiled throughout the last few weeks. There are 16 wide receivers on it. We have I went through the names, and so it just Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith. That doesn't include DK Metcalf, who all of us think is excellent. Doesn't include T. Higgins, who we think might get $25 million a year in free agency. Doesn't include Amari Cooper, who was a number 1 receiver at a high level. Now we're up to 20-plus guys. So the point that I'm trying to make on the Garrett Wilson stuff is very simple. Garrett Wilson might be an average number 1 receiver. You understand what I mean? Like if he's,
I'm just saying, watching him, I don't feel that way, but I hear what you're saying.
You can be excellent. Terry McLaurin. Everybody knows Terry McLaurin's really good. He had the same numbers as Garrett Wilson last year, also with bad quarterback play. But what it takes to have your receivers be your strength past. So I think they're going to have an average receiving core. I think Rodgers at this point is just an above average quarterback. I don't know what they're going to get out of their running game. I did see Mekhi Becton, their offensive lineman, limp off the field